sudden we've got American owners bloody everywhere.
Your manager, like, what do you guys think's going to happen? Like, do you think you're going to get? Do you think you're going to see a lot of players go, or like, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Do you want players to go, or because you've had criticism about like having like an older squad? I mean, what's your thoughts on all this stuff?
We're the where footballers go to die.
No,
I mean, you know, like spending 30 million, and like we spoke about before, we've done it not for League One, but to build in preparation for the Championship and to go further. Alfie May, absolute legend.
Keep right on.
He loves the Blues.
He loves the Blues, mate.
I do. Hopefully, we can get this league done.
Yeah, definitely.
So amazing, and yes, unbelievable supporting. So privileged to be part of such a big club.
Yeah, we love you, mate.
Thank you.
Cochrane, lovely ball! Oh, he's there again! Stansfield and the double!
For a second you should take lightly or get on the bus and forget about it. It's something truly special. The most points, yes, anyone in the EFL, anyone in English football has ever got in a football season.
So I don't quite get it, Jules, if I'm honest. It's a huge amount of money in League One.
Blues legend.
You're right, mate.
One message to the Bluenoses for me.
Keep right on.
The Blues. Come on.
Keep right on.
Keep right on. Hey, Ian. Keep right on, baby.
That's the fucking Blues. Keep right on.
Come on, you blue boys!
Keep right on.
Keep right on.
What is going on, Bluenoses? We are back with another podcast, and this one is going to be a really good podcast because we're going to be talking to another automatic promotion team, one that I've been rooting for as well. I like their owners, their ideology, and what they want to do with the club. We've done a few podcasts before with Ryan and Sean, and we're going to bring them on now.
Hey,
hello.
You okay?
Hey.
Yeah, are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, really good. Just glad to get it over the line. I think in the end, it was a little bit nervy. Not so nervy for you lot, like you raced off into the distance, but a little bit more nervy for us. But yeah, really happy.
Are you two all right? It's been a while, hasn't it, since we've done one of these? I think the last time we spoke was the first game that we was due to play each other at St Andrews, wasn't it? And I don't think we spoke about the second game, did we? Never had a chance.
We did. No, it was definitely the first one that we did.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a while. It has been a while.
God, I didn't realise it was that long.
Yeah,
It's been ages, yeah. But I have been rooting for you in the background, and I have been watching your lives and stuff. I've been tuning in and commenting and stuff. I've seen you going all over and stuff and that, and yeah, it's just been a good journey again for you now. Like another back-to-back promotion. I mean, what an achievement that is really for Wrexham. You know, coming all the way from the National League, League Two, League One, now you're in the Championship. I mean, did you expect that you was going to get promoted this season? Or
yes. You know what? If you
being honest, like, did you think that you was going to get promoted?
I backed them at the start of the season to be there or thereabouts. I thought playoffs would be amazing. I thought we'd have an outside chance of getting into the automatics. And as a fan, you always believe, don't you? But it was, I don't know, in the back of my mind, I was like, it's not the end of the world if you stay in League One. We've had back-to-back promotions, you know, not the end of the world if we have another stab at it next year. But then the closer we got, you know, to the end of the season, you're looking at it. And I'm a big believer in you've just got to grab your opportunities when they're there. And it would have felt like as stupid as it sounds, it would have felt like a disappointing season if we hadn't gone up, I think, because we'd come so close.
Yeah.
So we went 1 week going, we're definitely going up, to another week where we're going, oh, we're not. And it literally went back and forth like that.
There was probably more weeks where we thought we weren't going up than we were going up.
Yeah.
Because of our away form at the start of the season was absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, it was.
It was awful. But then it picked up again, so you thought, oh yeah, we might.
But your home form was really good, though, wasn't it? When you was unbeaten for
it was, and that's what carried us through. And that was a point that we tried to sort of hammer home at the start of the season. It was like, we are good at home. We've been good at home for the last 3 years. And if we can just keep that going, it's your home form that will carry you through, even if you are having a bit of a shaky time away from home, which we were. But our away form picked up at the right time, and everything sort of came together. So we did have a few shaky ones, didn't we? Away at Cambridge, away at Wigan. You know, it wasn't the best sort of performances.
Terrible.
Wigan was awful.
Wigan was probably the worst away game that or maybe even the whole game of the season. It was just terrible.
Yeah,
we were there, and it was just.
We had a cracking time up there. We did. We beat them 3-0, but even now, like when you mentioned Wigan, I just started laughing because I went to that game and not honestly, like I never laughed so much. Like just the atmosphere and stuff. They had a drummer, and he was banging to what they were singing, but like I think there was like 5,000 Blues fans, and we were singing Zulu Army every time he was banging the drums. Like, and then he had enough and he went home.
It was, you know, we went in numbers. Obviously, we packed it out. We sold out. I think, just under 5,000. We took 4,600, whatever
like that,
however many tickets they gave us, we sold them. And you know, atmosphere was great, like it always is. But we just didn't deliver on the pitch, and like Sean said, it was probably one of our worst performances of the season. And to be fair, we were probably lucky to come out of there with a draw, you know, a 0-0, to be honest. But it was, you know, I sort of felt like we were stacking up what if moments. You know, like away at Cambridge, we drew 2-2. At home to Cambridge, we drew 2-2. Away at Wigan, we drew 0-0. And I thought, I don't want to get to the end of the season and be looking back at games like this going, that's a what if moment. If we'd have just, you know, turned in a half decent performance and got 3 points from that, then we'd have had an extra 2 points, you know, and my brain does that, just stockpiles what if moments for when the worst possibly happens and I can sort of revert back to them all. But I didn't need them this season, thank God. So
no.
And what's the relationship been like with you two, like along the way, like in terms of going there, making memories, enjoying the ride as well? Has that been what you expected as well?
No, we're getting a divorce. No, I'm joking.
Don't get saying things like that.
It's an exclusive. Me and the wife are splitting up. I'm only joking. I think our relationship's always been as it's been from the start. We love going to the football, making memories. It's even more special when we go to away games and our son comes with us, because obviously we can make memories with him. But I think because we've got such a common interest in Wrexham, I think it just makes, this is going to sound so like vommy, but I think it brings us even closer.
Yeah.
You know, we've always been a strong couple anyway.
What we've tried to do this season more is go to away games that are further away, as opposed to just the local ones. And then we've made a weekend of it. So like staying on a Friday night and coming back on a Sunday, or, you know, something like that. So the three of us go down. We went to Bristol for the Bristol Rovers game. We stayed away at Charlton, so we stayed in Greenwich for that. And we've tried to do that a bit more this season, where it's not just the making memories of going to the games, but it's all the stuff that we can do in these places that maybe we've never been before, you know, and things like that. There was a couple of ropey ones.
Charlton was ropey.
What? No,
game.
Not the game.
Hotel.
The locations. I mean,
Oh,
Charlton was great. It was
Doncaster was horrible.
No, you can't say that.
No, I don't mean the town. I mean the hotel we stayed in.
We stayed in the Hilton. It was lovely.
Rotherham. That was it. Yeah, it was horrendous.
Oh, we're just dissing teams now, but yeah.
No, I'm not talking about the football. I'm talking about the hotel.
Yeah, Rotherham was horrible. I'm not being. Yeah, it wasn't. The hotel, I mean, not the town.
No,
the hotel we stayed in.
everyone's
So there's one or two dodgy ones, but
Yeah.
you know, in all, they've been pretty good, haven't they? And we've had a lot of fun going to the away games as well.
Blackpool,
Oh, yeah.
I think,
It's been
sounds
brilliant
amazing.
this season. I mean, I've made so many memories, and I've never considering. I mean, you've from your point of view, you've had a really great period because you've had these back-to-back promotions. I mean, that in itself, so fantastic, really, as a football team to get 3 back-to-back promotions. Now you're in the Championship. Now that's astounding, and for us with our season last season, it was just horrendous, and obviously, like it was the uncertainty, and I'm 33 now, and I was 2 years old the last time that we was in this league. The old Division 3. Then I was too young to really remember it. So like in my lifetime, really, I've never seen Blues in the 3rd tier. But like honestly, like I've never laughed so much in my life. But not just like the football, but like meeting opposition fans have been so welcoming, and just going to grounds that I've never been to, like as well. Just experiencing that at different areas of the country, and I've just made so many memories this season. And just for that alone, it's been brilliant, fantastic. And
the 100-odd points probably hasn't hurt either, has it?
No, that just tops it off. That's just the topping, that is, mate.
Yeah.
So Blues and Wrexham are officially promoted. I did always say, I mean, I think when we spoke before that I said that you'd go up anyway. But like I could tell, like you started the season off really strong. The first few weeks you was up there anyway, and I thought they're going to do it. Like there was a couple of people that I do podcasts with, and they was umming and ahhing about whether you would and stuff. But I always stuck to my guns, and I thought you'd do it again, to be honest, because of your owners and what they're doing for the club. And it's something similar to Blues with our owners. And one of the things I wanted to mention with you, like through Blues and Wrexham, a lot of teams looking in. It's kind of like, I'm not sure if it's like a bit of hate or jealousy or a bit of bitterness, but we've had a bit of stick, haven't we, from both teams. We've been kind of portrayed as being arrogant, and I can assure you now, you'll never meet an arrogant Blues fan. We've had like years of bad ownership, and we're just enjoying the ride, really. And in terms of you guys, with what Ryan is doing, the documentary, the Disney stuff, the sponsorship deals you got going on there as well. There's been a lot of like, you're a Disney football club and things like that. So I mean, how does that reflect for you as fans and stuff? Because we've just kind of like got on with it and just put it down to on the pitch, and the same with you guys as well, I suppose.
Yeah, well, we're just us and you are just ruining football, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're just throwing money on it, mate, and that's all we're doing. And it's like
paying off the ref.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one that gets me. That's the worst one. Is that we're paid, and there's grown adults posting this stuff on social media that Wrexham are paying off the refs, and there's no tongue in cheek. They're genuinely serious. Like, we're either paying them off or the refs just want to get on the documentary. And it's like, sometimes you sort of go, so if the ref is giving us a really poor decision, he wants to be viewed on a documentary for giving a really poor decision. That mentality just doesn't work. But look, at the end of the day, both clubs have got really good owners now, and I think Ryan and Rob have sort of created a model, a very different model for running a football club than that a lot of people have seen in the past. Because we get accused of throwing money at it, but they haven't really thrown money at it. What they're doing is they're trying to create a sustainable club for the long-term future. And, so yes, they have put money in, but they have created a club that will be sustainable long after they've gone because of the documentary. And you know, you've obviously got American owner as well, and a lot of people are going, well, the Americans will drift off at some point. We get that all the time, but I think what a lot of people forget is that
I think American owners are the way forward to save football clubs, mate. Honestly, 100%.
And American fans, when they pick a team, that is it. That is their team. They are not changing. They're not drifting off to anybody else. You know, so I just think it's great what they've done. You know, I was listening to your owner the other day at saying that, you know, you are going to be one of the top revenue generating clubs in the championship next season based on, you know, what the work that's been put in. And it's just great. I don't, you know, at the end of the day, football's about spending money. And, you know, we are, you know, we found a way to make money so that we can go out and spend it. At the end of the day,
isn't that what business is all about?
That you know, it's what more do you want? And, you know, throwing money at something, it doesn't guarantee success. Go and ask Huddersfield if throwing money at it guarantees success, you know, because the money they spent this season's ridiculous, and they're not even in the playoffs. So just throwing at money at something, that doesn't guarantee you anything. It's about how you run a club.
Yeah,
I agree as well. And it's the same as, like, you know, just life in general, you know, at work and stuff. You know, if you've got people in place, they're there for a reason. You have like different stepping stones. If you've got the right people at your football club that are doing the right job, you know, they're spending the money obviously, but they're spending it in the right way.
Yeah,
and you've got the right owners backing it. Of course, you're going to be successful. It's the same with all walks of life. You know, with our own jobs, like what we do in our own time. You know, and if the company's run right with the right people put in place, it's going to succeed and it's going to make profit. And at the end of the day, these owners, they are owners. They do obviously enjoy it, but at the end of the day, like, it is a business.
Yeah.
So they're going to be looking at making profits and stuff. But what I do really like is the fact that what we just mentioned with the American owners, they're the way forward, I think, because America's a massive powerhouse in itself anyway, like the country itself, the amount of people that live there. I mean, you've got the Disney documentary that's based over there. I mean, the amount of revenue that's created for you guys, you know, is phenomenal. And then you've had people that have been saying, you know, that you're going to have to spend a lot in the championship, which I think you are, but you've generated that money anyway, haven't you? Because of the business that Ryan and Rob have done. And it's the same with Blues. You know, we've got this documentary coming out, the Amazon Prime one, that's available in 200 countries. You know, and it all goes off clicks and views. So having the opportunity to have a Blues documentary in 200 countries is fantastic. And like you mentioned about what Tom Wagner was saying, I'll read it out because I've just got it on. It said, if our revenue progresses as we're expecting to next season, which is basically a certainty, we will be the highest revenue generating club in the championship ever not receiving parachute payments, and we will be on par with those receiving parachute payments. If we then progress 1 year further and we're fortunate enough to end up in the Premier League, we'll be a mid-table club or better in total revenue first year in. When we get inside the top 8, those clubs are real financial powerhouses, but between 9 and 12, there's space to move into that sphere and compete with the clubs that are 6, 7, 8 in total revenue. I think that we can get there very quickly. And then he also mentioned about Wrexham here, borrowing from the Wrexham playbook that has leveraged the stardom of co-owners Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney to rise the profile of the brand among new audiences. So, you know, these owners, they're already thinking way ahead of what's happening now. And these people that are looking in from the outside, slating us for whatever reasons. I mean, they slated us for spending 30 million, but what these people don't realise is it wasn't for League One. It was in preparation for the Championship.
Exactly.
That was always the big thing with us, wasn't it? It was about...
We needed a whole new squad because it was that squad that got us relegated in the first place.
It was like when we were in the National League and we were buying players and they were like, as if you're buying these players in the National League. And it was like, we're not buying these players for the National League. We're looking ahead at next season for League Two. And then, you know, when we do the same in League Two, you're always looking ahead. And the next one, I tell you, the funniest thing I saw this season is the price you paid for Jay Stansfield increased by, I think, 3 million every time I looked on Twitter. Every time I looked on Twitter, there was someone going, oh, as if you spent 10 million on him, as if you spent 15 million on him, as if you spent 20 million. And it's like, how much have they paid for him? I think he was worth about 120 million by they finished. It was just ridiculous. People just go, I need to prove my point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pluck the most ridiculous figure out the air as to what you've paid for a player. And you know,
we've had the same with Sam Smith, haven't we?
So yeah,
and Jay Rodriguez as well.
Yeah, Jay Rodriguez is on 35 grand a week.
Oh, I heard it was 15,000 a week.
Oh, I've heard more than that. More than that. So it's just
ridiculous.
People just need to make their point. And you touched on it before, you know, is it jealousy? Maybe, you know, because I have seen rival fans posting, going, you know, at the end of the day, fair play to them. And most of the comments on here are probably just because they wish it happened to their club.
Yeah.
You know, and I would wish what's happened to us on as many teams as possible, because it's been the best journey that I've ever been on in football. So
it's like Reading and stuff, you know, with their club. I hope that they're going to be all right. And like we were saying before, you know, I'm so glad that this season that we were in League One playing against each other, and that game alone generated the most revenue in comparison to Premier League football games.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, for League One, as they want to, you know, take the mick and stuff, it was fantastic. The fact that we drew so much attention. We had like David Beckham there.
Yeah.
You know, all the owners were there. Did you guys bring anybody in the end? I can't remember if you did or not now. Or did
Rob
you bring...
was there. Rob came. I don't think there was anybody. I don't think Rob brought anyone with him. Yeah.
You know, like you're having these people that are coming to watch, you know, both teams, and the amount of revenue that it's generating. Again, it's going into the teams, funding the teams, and it's just fantastic. And like we said before, you know, I like the fact that this is happening to teams like this. I like the fact that Leicester were in the Championship, they went up, they went into the Premier League, and first season they went all the way up and won the Premier League. I mean, you know, like I love that stuff. Like we spoke about that before, didn't we? Before we was recording it, you know, I think football's getting a bit tedious now with the same teams up there that are winning stuff, that are taking advantage of all the money, and you know these teams can't compete. And I like the fact that there's other teams now that are like, right, we want a piece of the pie. It's nice to see Nottingham Forest up there.
Yeah. I think we need to get out of this. I know we're sort of jumping ahead a bit, but we need to get out of this. Whoever gets promoted from the Championship comes straight back down, because there obviously is such a big gulf in class. You know, like obviously Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester went up last season. They're coming straight back down. And you know, we need to somehow get away from that. And I think if teams like Birmingham and Wrexham actually end up getting there, then we're the sort of clubs that can disrupt that, and we can, you know, be a thorn in people's side, and people will hate playing against us, and you know, all that sort of stuff. I want to be the team that sort of breaks that, because you look at teams like Leeds and Burnley that are going up this season with the amount of points that they've racked up, and instantly you sort of already know they're going to struggle next season, which is crazy really, because they're both racking up nearly 100 points. But you just know instantly that they're going to struggle, and that makes it quite a sad state of affairs, I think. So, but anyway, why are we talking about the Premier League? Boring.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
We haven't even finished League One, and we haven't got into we're not like started playing the Championship yet. So I think we are.
That's the arrogance you were talking about before, mate. That's the arrogance.
We're just passionate, mate. That's all it is. But yeah, I mean, like, what's the kind of thought process with what they want to do? I mean, are you like going to be expanding the stadium? Like, have you got like a big waiting list for season tickets, or because we've just had ours come through and we got 10,500 Bluenoses on the waiting list for season tickets? You know, that's outstanding. I mean, what's it like for you guys? Are you going to expand the stadium? Waiting lists. I know that when we spoke last time, there was waiting lists on tickets and people couldn't get season tickets and stuff. Has that like increased more, or?
We don't actually know about a waiting list for season tickets, but I'm assuming they'll have to do something.
Yeah.
But I know that they're not giving out new season tickets basically for the next season.
Yeah. They haven't for a few years now. They capped it at, I don't know what it was. I think it was 7,000. They capped it as. Obviously, we've got some, much smaller stadium.
Yeah.
We are building a new cop. The new cop's 5,500. 5,500. So that'll add, and we can add more season tickets when that comes out. But no, we don't really have a waiting list at the moment. I'm sure if we did, there would be a lot on there. But we don't have a waiting list at the moment. No.
And it expanding the ground. I know that they're because obviously we're not playing. We've got one more away game on Saturday. I know they're doing something with the pitch because they've got to bring in the one of the pitch's sidelines because it's not big enough for a throw in. There's not enough.
No, I think it's the corners. I think that's the problem.
Is it?
So one of the ends of the pitch is too close to one of the stands, so everyone struggles taking a corner down the bottom. The end that you scored when you were there, so you didn't seem to have any problems scoring from corners in that end. But yeah, that end. I think so. The pitch is going to slide up about a meter or a meter and a half. And they're relaying the pitch, and then we've got the cop, which they're starting to build now, and that'll add 5,500 seats. And then they've got the next phase after that, which is regeneration of one of the stands at the side, and then phase 3 after that is regeneration of another one of the stands as well. So yeah, it's all going on, and it's all there to help increase revenue, match day revenue, and build it up. And yeah, it's exciting, but yeah, you just we've got this shiny new stand and everything. It's been designed by the same people who designed the Emirates for Arsenal.
Okay.
And I think they were the same people who built
Everton, wasn't it? The Everton ground.
I'm not sure if it was that one, but they definitely built Huddersfields for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's exciting. It is. It just you feel a bit like a kid in a sweet shop, though, don't you? It's like they tell you, oh, you're going to have this, and you feel like stamping your feet, going, I want it now. And you know you can't have it now, but you got to be patient. But you just want everything straight away, because when you see something nice and shiny, and it'll make everything better, you just want it straight away.
The only problem with building the new stand is obviously next season we have that temporary stand at the behind one of the goals. Obviously that needs to come down to allow the construction of the new stand. So we're going to be back down to just 3 sides, and it's going to be
which that's the disappointing bit, isn't it?
You kind of would have hoped for it to have been built going into the championship, but there was so much red tape, and the council in Wrexham are just awful. So
Birmingham Council, they're awful as well.
Yeah, so I think but I think they've seen the light now, and they've realised that this is a good opportunity for the town as a whole. Sorry, the city. So yeah, I think it'll be. Yeah, I'm looking for, because I don't know if you've seen the new design of the cop that we're getting.
No, I haven't seen anything. Now I'll have a look after this.
It's pretty swanky, to be fair.
I'll guarantee you one thing: you'll either love it or hate it. You won't be in. Won't be in between. It's definitely a stand that you won't have seen before. You won't have seen anything like it before.
It's not boring.
It's certainly not boring, and it won't divide everyone else, just everyone else. It's divided Wrexham fans as well, of people going, what is this? And then other people going, this is exactly what we need. It is something that once you see it, you will always know that is our ground, which to me is perfect, because that's what I want. Is something that you know, there's certain grounds around the UK that you just need to see one stand or the floodlights or something, and you know where that ground is.
Yeah.
This stand is our version of that. And it has definitely divided opinion, but we love it. We think it looks amazing.
There's weirdly, but there's one aspect of it that that a Wrexham supporter actually put a petition out, and I think 3 people signed it.
Yeah.
Basically, it looks.
I know.
Because of the design of it, it looks like it's got the English flag.
Sort of. It's like this design where it's sort of like, yeah, it's got a look of sort of like a rusty metal sort of look to it, or like a brick sort of look to it. And where the joins are, somebody said that looks like the England flag. I mean,
so he set up a petition,
Yeah,
and like
I
I said, 3 people signed it, and it's just, you
people
know,
are nuts though, aren't they?
do you know what? You're always going to find somebody that's got an issue with it, but I'm excited to see it, and I think the reason why people were so like, "What are we doing with this stand?"
Is that it?
Because when
That is it, mate. Yeah.
that's it, yeah.
Oh, that's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that Jay's way of saying that looks absolutely awful?
You did a voice of, oh, that's disgusting.
That's nice.
I see what you mean. Like, it's definitely Wrexham's ground.
Yeah, exactly. No one will ever not know what that ground is. Do you know what I mean? So
I think it's going to look cool, but I think the reason why people were so like divided with this stand, the new stand that's actually going up, is because a couple of years ago, when obviously they first discussed building a new stand, they basically did a like a mock-up, and it was basically, obviously that's a mock-up, but it was black, all, you know, it was all the way round. It was like, it was completely different to what we are actually going to have now.
Yeah.
And I think people sort of like, oh yeah, I can get on board with that. You know, it's symmetrical, it's big, it's, do you know what I mean?
Just imagine every football ground you've ever seen in the world.
Yeah.
And that's what the stand looked like. All right, it was black instead of like a normal, you know, whatever they call it. But in reality, it was just any stand in any town or any city around the UK, around Europe, around the world.
Yeah.
And then what they've then gone away and done something that's
reflective of the
properly off the hook, you know, and it's just different. And for me, I love it. And I've talked to people who go, yeah, I'm not sure, why isn't it straight, you know, and things like that. So it's definitely a divided opinion, but I'm all for it, definitely.
Kind of a clever idea in a way, because it's going to draw more eyes to Wrexham.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to have this split decision where people are either like it or not. And now you've explained it to me. Now I've seen it. I can totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're going to have people that are going to be talking about it, going like, well, do you like it or not? But then you got the Disney documentary again.
Yeah.
It's in loads of countries, and it's going to draw more revenue, more clicks, more fans, because you're expanding the stand. It's more money in your owners' pockets, more investment, and it all leads to one thing, and that's success.
Yeah.
That's what you want as fans, and it's the same as us. You know, we've brought a big plot of land. We're just waiting for Birmingham Council to get their arse into gear, but we've just brought that. You know, we're gonna have a new stadium, and that's all underway, and it's the same again. You know, more eyes, more fans, more season tickets, and it's all about getting that revenue in, and just having owners that genuinely care. You know, and I think like what we spoke about, you know, the American owners, you can't knock them. I think they've been outstanding. I mean, there's so many teams. I mean, look at Reading. You know, they're in a bad way at the minute. I just hope that they can sort it out. There's been other teams that have been there as well. We've been there. We've had Chinese owners and stuff, and it just hasn't worked out. You know, we was at the point where we might not have been here. You know, it's just I think it's definitely the way forward.
Yeah,
America all the way.
Well, you got Cardiff as well. They're going through a similar sort of thing. You know, at the moment, you've got Reading, like you say. It's just, I do wonder sometimes, you know, when they go through this, owners go through this like fit and proper tests to make sure that they've got the club's best interest at heart, make sure they've got funds in the bank. And sometimes when you see these horror stories at other clubs, like we've been through it, we've been through horrible times, you know, where we've had an owner who just wanted to sell off the land to build houses or build, you know, like a B&Q.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and you know, you do wonder sometimes how like the EFL or the FA are conducting these tests to make sure that the owners do have the club's best interest at heart, because whatever they're doing, a lot of the time it doesn't seem they're doing it right.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you end up with these horrible situations, and because we've been through it ourselves, it does break your heart a little bit. And I do feel for Reading, but you know, I'll say it now, hats off to Reading with all the stuff they've got going on off the pitch, to be literally one win away from being in the playoffs. That blows my mind that they've been able to do that, block out all the noise from off the pitch and to get where they are. You know, I think that's a huge achievement for them.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like, it's like these owners though, mate, that buy these football clubs, they need to get a hold of this, because it's people's livelihoods. Not only is it a hobby, you know, it's like it's in your blood, you know. It's passed down to you through generations, the football teams that you support. My dad's a proper Brummie. I'm a bit of a mongrel. I'm like a bit of a black country kind of.
Yeah.
I'm like the biggest mongrel going, but like I've followed Blues because my dad's a Brummie. You know, I've always supported Blues. So like these owners that are taking over these clubs, it's like people's livelihoods and that. You know, like you're born to enjoy it. You're born to love it, and it's brought into your life, you know, and to see these teams that are suffering and stuff, it's just I just hope they get it sorted. Yeah. We've been there, like, and one of the things for me what's made my season is the fact that we've got slated for like being arrogant and stuff, and we've broke so many records, we've won the league, and you know, it's just like I believe in karma and things like that, and like me personally, like I've never been an arrogant Blues fan, but like the fact that we've had like a brilliant season, stopped you off. I've just been laughing my head off the whole way.
And rightly so as well.
The same with you guys as well. You know, like I've rooted for you and stuff. Like I've said it numerous times, and you see things on social media like we spoke about before, and the fact that you've done it again, you know, it's brilliant. Like, you know, it's fantastic. But like one of the things I wanted to mention as well, because he's had a lot of mixed reviews as well from both fan bases, Blues and Wrexham. I was on board with it really because of, same again, the revenue purpose of it. But there was, when they were saying it's like the Hollywood derby, I mean, what do you guys think of that? Do you like the fact that they're kind of doing that with the clubs, or?
I love anything that
controversial,
that riles up other fans. So if I loved that rumor, I wouldn't have liked it if it happened, but I loved it when the rumor that potentially Wrexham versus Birmingham might be played in New York.
Oh God,
When that rumor started circulating, the hatred boiled up within people. I loved that, because I thought, I was sitting there going, I am 99% sure that wouldn't happen. You know, because I just couldn't see it happening. But the hatred that stirred up amongst other fans just made me laugh so much, and I sort of leaned into it a little bit. The whole Disney FC thing, the Hollywood FC, whatever they want to call us. I've leaned into it a bit now because I'm quite thick-skinned anyway. Like, it annoys Sean more than it annoys me, I think. But I have definitely leaned into it.
Passionate person.
I've just sort of gone, yeah, go on then. I want to be. I want the team to grow into this horrible monster that everyone hates, and because I think as a football fan, you don't want to be liked. Who wants to be liked by other people? Who cares?
You're so strange.
No, you're not though, because you just want to go, we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and we're gonna get on with it. And let's be honest, we're sitting here, we're back to back promotions, so it's working for us. So let the people hate us and let them get really stressed. and let me carry on finding it funny that they're getting really stressed, and then let's get on with our life.
This is why we get on so well,
That was
because
beautiful, Ryan.
we're complete opposite. Like, I hate it. I am very much a people pleaser, and I like people liking me. So the thought of them, you know, obviously being associated with the club, not, you know what I mean, being a fan, I instantly think that I take things personally. So if someone's having a go at the club, I take it as personal attack on me. Like, right, how dare you? And then I want to go and write something on it, but I don't, because Ryan reins me in. But yeah, we are completely different in that aspect.
Yeah,
So
because
Ryan loves it, and I hate it.
yeah, I just want to see, when I see it, I do want to stir the pot more.
Yeah.
And I want to get them more annoyed, but I don't. I do refrain from doing that. But I just find it quite funny that a small town in North Wales rattles people so much.
A small city in North Wales.
Get lost.
Say that now, though.
A small town.
You're on Disney now. You're on.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's just, it's funny. We're the new Millwall, I think. You know, nobody likes us, but we don't care.
In terms of the squad and stuff, though, guys, and your manager, like, what do you guys think's going to happen? Like, do you think you're going to see a lot of players go, or like, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Do you want players to go, or because you've had criticism about like having like an older squad? I mean, what's your thoughts on all this stuff?
We're the where footballers go to die.
No,
I mean, you know, like spending 30 million, and like we spoke about before, we've done it not for League One, but to build in preparation for the Championship and to go further. But we had to do it because, like I said earlier, it was that squad that just weren't interested, overpaid, and they're the reason why we went down. But like, in terms of that with you guys, what's your thoughts on that? Like, with
I think it's a bit different with us, because the team that, obviously, you know, as we've progressed through National League, League Two, League One, we have had to get rid of some players because, obviously, you know, I hate this saying, but they reached their ceiling, and so we had to kind of let them go, but bring in new blood. But I kind of think there definitely will be people going in the summer transfer window, definitely, because you know, I'm not going to name names because I don't know for definite, but there are going to be people that are going because they haven't had the game time. Parky obviously doesn't see them in the squad as much as he does, you know, Tom O'Connor, people in.
Not going to name them, but
I'm talking about people that he sees that are involved in the squad, not people that are leaving.
So you've picked one player that has barely played all season.
All right, Sam Smith, then, Ollie Rathbone, all them. You know that they're going to take us into the, you know, they're going to come along with us for the ride of the Championship. A lot of people have been wondering about Paul Mullen and Ollie Palmer. I think actually you mentioned today that Phil Parkinson has said that those two are actually going to be involved in pre-season. But then you think that doesn't necessarily mean, is that kind of like they're going to be involved in pre-season because they're going in the summer summer transfer window, that, you know, there's no intention of them coming with us into the Championship. So it's like, I think there will be a lot of people going, but I think, like, you know,
what about McLean?
I think
I want him to stay.
He will definitely stay, and I don't think, you know,
he's got 2 more seasons left in him, I think.
I don't think anyone should underestimate the influence.
You think he's good enough for the Championship, though?
Yeah, I do, and I don't think anyone should underestimate the influence of his experience that he can bring to our team, because he's our captain at the moment, and there's been games where he hasn't played so well, but that can be said for literally the whole squad. So, you know, I think that is somebody that we do definitely need to hold on to. And but I'm sort of, when I look through the squad, I sort of see like a 50-50. So 50% probably hold on to, maybe a little bit more. 50% I would possibly like to see replaced with something, because you've always got to be moving forward. Sian's a big one for sentiment, and I keep telling her there is no sentiment in football. You're not.
I still miss Luke Young.
You're such a liar. You are not getting any better. I keep saying there's no sentiment in football, and players that have played for us this season that have done really well at a certain level will be replaced in the summer by better players, and all of a sudden your better players are in the team playing week in, week out, and then you end up with the players that are playing this season sitting on the bench or in your reserves, and that's just football. As you progress through the leagues, that's what happens. So yeah, I'm sort of maybe 50-50 splits are harsh, but I do expect half of the players to sort of stick around. We've got some really good young talented players, you know, people like Max Cleworth. He got into the League One team of the season, and you know, he's come through the academy. He's played for us in National League, National League, League Two, and League One. For me personally, I think there's a Premier League player in there, and you know, if he keeps developing the way he does, so I suppose the long-term battle with somebody like that is holding on to him. But you know, he is a local-ish lad, so he, you know, there's
He's from Chester.
He is from Chester, yeah. But it's so, you know, I think somebody like that is you know, is someone that you can take forward, you know, into the other leagues. But I do expect a lot of change in the summer. I expect a sprinkling of older players, because that sort of model, as people keep telling us, you can't keep doing that, but we do, and it keeps working for us. So I do sort of think there will be, I imagine Stephen Fletcher will get another 12 months, because you know, Stephen Fletcher comes on for 20 minutes a week.
He's our impact player,
and he's still an impact player at his age, and you know, he's got.
Though, Ryan, it's like you just said though, like about the experience. Me personally, how I look at it, I'd like to have like a younger squad and then have like a sprinkle of experience. But said, like, it's working for Wrexham, so why change it? But it's going to be interesting, because the Championship's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be more intense. There's going to be more room to play, because there's going to be a lot of teams playing from the back. They're going to be pressing more. They're not going to be sitting back. So it's going to be challenging, and it's all down to whether those experienced players can they keep up the fitness levels to last the games, you know. And but like, I mean, there's two players that have really impressed me though for Wrexham, and it was Dan Scarr. I think he was a really good signing for you, because Blues were after him as well, weren't they, before he went to Wrexham?
Yeah, they were,
Great signing. I think he's been really good for you. And Rathbone, I mean, he scored some goals this season, he has.
Yeah.
You've actually got a look of Dan Scarr about you, actually, Jay.
Come on.
Maybe a dark-haired Dan Scarr, yeah.
Well, yeah, all right. It's the beard.
I think you mentioned Ollie Rathbone there. I think hands down,
player of the season, in my opinion.
Quite clearly, player of the season.
Absolutely.
He is absolutely. He's just relentless. I think if the FA went mental and changed every game to 180 minutes instead of 90,
he'd still be good with a smile on his face.
He would still be chasing the ball down in the 179th minute. He is just this. I don't know where he gets his energy from. He is non-stop, and I do honestly think that without him, we might have struggled this season, if I'm honest, because he has been absolute engine.
Yes.
He stepped up though, hasn't he? Yeah, it's the same with Blues with our players. You know, we've scored some cracking goals this season. I mean, I dread to pick goal of the. Well, there is one goal. It was when we played Newcastle, when we scored that bomber of a goal from Iwata. I mean, what a cracking goal that was. That was a game. Like, I know we lost, but like, I was so proud, because we really did turn up and gave him a really good game. Like, you know, and but yeah, like, we've scored like a lot of goals like that, and it's the same with Rathbone. You know, he scored some cracking goals as well for you guys as well. It's nice to see. That was like, you know, when you're watching the team, and it just comes like unexpectedly at times. You think, bloody hell, what a goal that was, you know, and it's all part of the journey. And like you say, you know, it's making these memories, and you look back at this and go, oh, do you remember when so and so scored that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last
Worldy.
minute goals are the one for me. We haven't scored loads of screamers, but it's the last minute goals that we've scored. It's been like that for us for the last 3 seasons, and it is my favourite thing in the world.
Hate it.
Last minute goals.
I hate an early goal.
Yeah,
but I hate a late goal. I like just nice and simple in the middle.
I remember one of my. It's crazy, right? One of our best. Since Sean's been coming to the games, one of the best games we went to, right, and just bear that what I've just said now in mind, was Oldham away in the National League, right? We were 1-0 down, and we scored 2. We scored one in like the 90th minute, and we scored the winner in the 97th minute. And in our minds, that will always be one of the great away days because the celebration of that last minute goal was just immense.
It was.
But honestly, we were absolutely abysmal for 85 minutes of that game. And honestly, I wanted to walk out because it was awful. Yeah. But I keep trying to explain to Sean, the last minute goals that win you games, it just completely make you look back at that game as an amazing experience. But trust me, for 85 minutes, it was well short of an amazing experience. But for me, last minute goals are everything in football. Love them.
No, too stressful.
Love them.
It's good when they happen.
Yeah.
But waiting for them, it's just too stressful. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been a good season now. You know, I'm happy that it's worked out for Blues. I'm happy that you guys have got the back-to-back promotions as well. But, you know, with 2 different clubs, but we got, like, similar owners with the same ambitions at the end of the day. They want the clubs to do really well. It's just great catching up with you guys as well, you know, and seeing you guys again. And, I'll be watching you and on your videos and stuff. I mean, what have you got planned for the channel and stuff during the season?
Well, weirdly, we're in full stress mode at the moment because we're on episode. So next episode's 148. So we've been going for nearly 3 years now, and we have decided to do a bit of a rebrand. So we're going through. We've been working. It's going to sound very la-di-da, but we've been working with a designer who's designed us a new logo, and it looks amazing. And we've got that, and we've redecorating the studio that we've got. We've got a load of new equipment. So at the moment, we're in full stress mode of trying to get all that done and set up, and that should launch this weekend. This weekend. But So we're pretty much there. I do have a room full of brand new equipment that I'm not going to lie to you, Jay, I don't completely understand at this moment in time. And we've got to record a new episode on Sunday. So I'm glad it's a bank holiday weekend. Let's put it like that. That I've got a bit of time that I can actually work out how everything works. But it's fun. And the main thing for us when we started this was it's got to be fun.
Yeah.
You know, we work hard all week in jobs that maybe we don't love. And you've got to have something that you really enjoy, and we still do after the 3 years. So as long as we keep enjoying it, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
I stand by what I say, and I say it on every single video I do. I do it because I love the Blues. I love it because of the Blues fans, and not only that, you know, playing the opposition teams. I love meeting new people. I love interacting with people, and most importantly, it's about making those memories for me. And you know, we're here again. You know, the second or third podcast we've done together, and our friends for life. And we wouldn't have met if it wasn't for doing YouTube. You know, like, I know we haven't met physically, only virtually, but you know, we still speak and stuff, and you know, we're still friends. And it's all part of the journey at the end of the day. And that's one of the main things I love.
I'll be honest with you, Jay, right? Because we do talk to lots of people, and we go on to like different podcasts and stuff, and we do it for the first time, and then you're always a bit like, you know, I don't really know this person, and I'm not really sure. Like you said, we've never met, and we always like, you know, we message on social media, but whenever we talk, we sort of feel like we've known you for 10 years plus.
Yeah, it's weird.
It feels like we're talking to someone where we can always be really relaxed. It feels like we've known you for ages, which is nice. And it's like you say, it's about meeting new people. and about, because there are some great, not just content creators out there of other teams, but just fans in general of other teams. Look, don't get me wrong, there's some horrible ones. We can all admit to that. But there are nice ones out there, and I love meeting these new people and talking to people. And yeah, it's one of the favorite things that we do on this is meeting people, because especially with having, a huge American fan base, we must have met in excess of 20 people who listen to our podcast from America, who've come to Wrexham, and we've met up and we've gone for a pint, or they've come on the podcast, and I just love that. It's amazing because you get to talk to a whole range of people that you never would have talked to in a million years, so I love it. And as long as like I say, as long as we still enjoy it, we will do it forever, I think.
That's it, mate. That's it. And I'm looking forward to the rebrand. Hopefully you can send me some spoilers later so I can have a little look.
Well do, definitely.
I'm excited for you now.
Yeah,
we're thinking about you after the podcast now. But yeah, I mean, I'm just really rubbish on Twitter though. Like, it's one of the ones I don't use the most. But have you got my number at all, or? Yeah,
we have. Yeah,
because I'm really rubbish on Twitter. It's very rare I go on there, like, and then I look, and then it's been like you message me, and I haven't looked for like hours, and I think, bloody hell, I bet he's thinking I'm ignoring him. I'll just never go on there. It's like,
we just assume you're working a shift or something, because we know that you do like long hours, don't you? So,
but now we know.
You just ignore.
You just ignore it. No, I'm joking.
But it's been brilliant again, guys. Thanks for making time for me again, and I'm glad that we've got the season that we both wanted.
And deserved.
Yeah, we're on the up. We're on the up, and it's fantastic. Yeah. And I wish you guys all the best. Year. And we'll see you next year. We'll be playing.
Yeah.
Right, guys, I'll leave it with you. And I'll be watching.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thanks for having us on.
Take care.
Please subscribe to both of us as well, the people that are watching, and means the world to us.
Who's that? Me? Oh, yeah, you. Sorry. Hello. Wherever we go.
Tony and Dad.
7-0 now, I'm here. Best fucking habits.